What is up, everybody? Matt Johnson here. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom / craziness, as evidenced by Greg, who is already he is already up, he is amped, he is fired up, and our guest is certainly not going to help that at all. Because, if there's anyone that has more energy on the face of the planet than Greg, it's this guy, Wayne Salmons. We've got an amazing guest today. We're going to talk about Wayne's background. We're going to talk about how to massively increase your predictable income, because how about that? That is a very key. You do not want huge spikes and dips. You actually want predictable income that you can grow and hire people off of and pay your bills. That would be awesome. So let's talk about massively increasing your predictable income. So we'll bring Wayne in officially in a second, but for now, the junior grandmaster himself. He will not be Kate. He will not be wrangled. It is Greg McDaniel.
Oh my God, it's the favorite part of the show. Oh, here I am. Hello, big world. Matt got the nose pinched within a minute of the show starting. Winning. All right. So what I did today, guys, I took not so sour Midori. Waved to everybody on the podcast. Took Midori. We went down to a very trendy and chic coffee shop where we sat and had way overpriced coffees, and we're able to come up with a strategy. And we were trying to pick up clients. That didn't go so well. Everybody was like way too emo with their little headphones in. They're looking at me. So we're not going to do that again. We're going to go to Starbucks next time. But I can tell you one thing. It was a great idea. We're going to get Midori out of the office a lot more. And I think it's a lot of funk that we get into ourselves a lot of the time. So we think that we just stay in the office, do our calls, do this, and become a fucking robot, and we never do anything with another human. So we came up with awesome ideas for her to get out there, rock some cool gear that's going to talk about what she's going to do as a real estate agent. So all things real estate. I did a show with them the Monday of this week, and if you guys want a discount on it, CVH is your promo code, and you'll get like 10% off. There's something or free shipping. I don't know what the code is, but there's little doggy coat things that she's gonna put on her dog, and we're gonna get her out doing a bunch of other stuff that she's excited about. So I want you guys to think about it. What can you do to get out there? And just to top it off, Matt, look what I got. I got a personalized thank you letter for the McDaniel Challenge, and this is from Laura. Thank you, Laura, beautiful woman. And she gave me something, Matt, that you don't get to have, but I do. Starbucks card. Mine.
Wait. You mean like this one that Aaron sent me for helping with expired mastery?
Damn it.
Now, I don't mean to brag, but it is a Starbucks black card for a reason. That is not a $5 Starbucks gift card, my friend.
I got black on mine. And by the way, he called me and asked me what you would want. I'm like, dude, Starbucks all the time. He's like, okay, cool, totally cool, dude.
All right, you got me there. All right, let's bring in our special guest before we get too long and he gets too amped up. Wayne Salmons. Wayne, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, we are super
awesome.
excited. So we were introduced to you because we're on the first episode of Hank Aving's new show, which I am producing, called Work to Live. If anybody wants to go check out the full episode, the full Hank and Wayne experience, you guys are really close and have been for a long time. That is over on iTunes. Go check out Work to Live podcast. So that's how we kind of connected, and we wanted to bring you on the show, obviously, because we know we'll bring great content and bring great energy, but also to help Hank out because we love Hank and we want to promote his show and all that good stuff. It's a nice, virtuous
cycle.
There
we go.
Very true.
Big internet hug right there.
That's right.
Big internet hug. You and Hank on the same show together, I have got to watch that.
It's a little weird. It
got weird.
I mean, I don't admit publicly that I know him. I mean, I keep that really reserved. So I love that boy, and he's my best friend in the world. And he's not right. I mean, I think we all know that. So I'll tell you what. Hank thinks bigger, and he does. I mean, he's crazy and brilliant all at the same time. So he's
trust me.
I love that guy.
I'm aware when he calls me on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. going, dude, I got to run something past you. I'm like, go fuck yourself, dude. He's like, no, seriously, man, I'm in the groove. I'm like,
yeah,
I haven't even had coffee yet.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is you don't even need to listen. I
learned that. Just nod and agree. Just like when you're on an annoying date. That's interesting. Tell me more.
That's
amazing.
Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for me, Greg.
Oh, shut up.
All right, Wayne. So fill everybody in. Give me the 60-second bio. Who you are, where you are, what you do.
I was born at a young age. I was.
You're born at a young age.
That's my only line. So let's just
That's such a great line.
Make sure everybody. Okay. Yeah. So at a young age, my parents moved to Canada, so I went from living in Kansas to Canada, which is a super weird transition. That was awesome. At 15, I was fiercely independent. Still am. At 15 years old, I moved out of my house, got my own place, and then at 16, I spent the next 4 years basically traveling the world doing relief work in Guatemala, Korea, all over the place. Bolivia, had a blast. So it was really cool at that young age to be exposed to the world on that level. Ended up going to college for a year, and that is like so not me. I'm just like I have no college material whatsoever. Yeah, so that was not cool. Anyway, so I went up to Alaska one summer because they're like, hey, we pay people $1 gazillion. And I'm like, that sounds good. I later found out why they pay you $1 gazillion, because it's in Alaska.
Were you one of the frozen fishermen? Were you out there like catching crabs or something?
I wasn't quite there. I mean, fortunately, okay. I don't have any jail time in my history, so I didn't work on the boats.
Right.
And so I went up there. I started building houses. My buddy and I, we started custom building homes. Then I got cold. I remember like we're building at -10, and I'm like, this is I can do different than this. Like, this is not my life calling. So then I went into real estate, and it's been crazy ever since. So I went into real estate, quickly became I struggled in the beginning, then became one of the top 30 under 30 for Realtor Magazine, sold a bunch of houses. That was awesome. I got in my own way, my limiting beliefs, my whole stuff. I ended up kind of like losing everything. I hit rock bottom and like nailed it. Like if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna do it big. So like I nailed it. Like I didn't come close. Like I nailed it. So went through some stuff and then kind of got back on my feet. And for the last 5 years, I've been training for Keller Williams. And then just now, recently, as of like January 1st, I'm out on my own, pursuing what's put within me to do. So. There we go. I don't know if that was 60 seconds.
That was somewhere around like 379 seconds or whatever, but I'm willing to let it pass.
Close to 60.
Good stuff. Exactly. All right. So I want to delve into a couple of things that you mentioned. Number one, the initial struggle, and then the rock bottom recovery. Like I know there's a lot of stuff that you have to say that people get a ton of value out of, but let's go small before we go big. How about that?
No,
I'm ready.
There was a couple questions that I wanted to cover and throw out to both of you guys. So this is one, Greg, you're actually tagged in this on the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections group. So Michael Shetler asks, can anyone offer your circle prospecting scripts for, number one, just listed, and number two, a price reduction? Let's cover the just listed first. And Greg, what say you about a just listed script for a circle prospecting?
Matt, what I say is this. So it's really, really simple, guys. The majority of my scripts, there's 4 parts of my script. And it's the intro 3, which is who I am, where I'm from, and what am I doing on your front porch or phone. And then I go into, the Ford script and a couple of other things. So it would be, hey, Wayne, my name is Greg McDaniel. I'm a real estate agent here in the area with J. Rockcliffe Realtors. The reason I'm here today is because we just sold a home, or a home just sold, depending if you sold it or if another person sold it. Never take credit for something you didn't sell, but always want to inform the neighborhoods what's going on. I just want to let you know it sold for whatever amount of money over the list price or whatever. So let's say it sold for $22,506.11 over the listing price. And just wanted to let you guys know that, and just wanted to see if you guys had any intention of maybe making a move. It went with multiple offers. We have probably 2 or 3 other families looking to buy in the area. Have you folks thought about maybe selling and taking advantage of the prices? And then we go into the script, we go into Ford, and we go into the triple F script if we need to do the feel, felt, found. I mean, we go down the laundry list, but that's how I intro with a just sold.
Okay. Wayne, what's your perspective on that? Anything you would add or take away from that type of script?
You told me Greg wasn't that good and that I was going to look great. And yet he just nailed it. So this is going to be tough. No, so here's what I do, right? So if we were just listening, basically what I say is I go, hey, look, we Mark and Sally, if it's my listing, right? Mark and Sally trust me to list their house. We got a great offer. And yet, because I'm really good at marketing, we generated a lot of buyers that either didn't get in time or that house wasn't right for them. And I'm just curious, what price would cause you to sell? Or if you were going to sell your house, where would you go next, right? So I just kind of leave it open a little bit and then have some fun with them. And I love going, I know you're not thinking about selling, and yet if you were going to sell, where would you go? They go, well, we're not really thinking about it. And I go, no, I totally get that. Yet if you were going to sell, like, where would the perfect house be? And they go, over here, this neighborhood, right? So they go, this neighborhood, 2 bed, 3 bath, whatever. And I go, hey, if I found a house over there, would you want to know about it? And they're like, well, I guess so. Perfect. And then I go to that neighborhood, I go, I got a buyer, right? Then I talk to that whole neighborhood, right? And then I'm talking to people in that neighborhood, they go, I don't want to sell. I go, perfect. If you were going to sell, where'd you go? They go, over there. I go, perfect. I go to that neighborhood, and they go, I got a buyer, right? So, I've seen people build their whole entire careers just using that kind of script, connecting dots. And then you come back and go, you wouldn't believe what happened. I freaking found the house. It's a miracle. Come list with me.
I love it. I actually literally just wrote down your script. I'm like snatching it just from you, like that's mine now.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, take it away. Take it away.
Right. See, for once, the little nugget of goodness doesn't come from you, Greg. It comes from somebody else.
Thank God. I was getting bored of myself.
I
know everyone else was too, and I know you.
Let's talk about the price reduction thing. So that it kind of struck me as odd. So, Greg, would you do circle prospecting around a home that was reduced in price?
Hi, Matt, Julie, your 3 obese little wood denting babies with 2 wide of walkways because they're so fat they have to buy 3 seats when they go on planes.
Naturally, yes,
of course, and they have to put them on opposite sides, otherwise the plane will fly sideways. Just big circles, So what I would do, it just seemed done. So honestly, you'd be like, hey, Matt, Julie, just want to call and let you know, congratulations, your neighbor didn't sell for their full price. They had to take a $50,000 price reduction, but have you been thinking about selling? It's a good time. I need a commission.
Okay.
No, Matt, I would not do that. And I know.
Now, wait. What if it was your listing?
Hell no.
Still no. Yeah.
You trying to keep that shit quiet, man. You're like,
okay.
Oh, don't tell anyone we did a price reduction, but I think we could probably get a little bit higher if we raise the price a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're funny, dude.
Oh, Wayne, Wayne, do you agree with that?
For the first time ever, I'm just going to agree with Greg.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so let's talk about price reduction.
I feel like someone should record that moment. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly. The first time ever, Greg has just had someone say, "I agree."
Except for you, Matt.
I have never once agreed with you and left it at that. I always have something to say to add.
Well, you will.
Anyway.
You will one of these days, and you'll understand the true joy that Wayne just experienced. Okay.
I agree. Well, first of all, let's greet a couple of people. We have a bunch of people watching, but among them is the man himself, Hank Avink.
I thought we were letting him
here to be supportive.
I thought we talked about this. That was my one stipulation. We don't let Hank near anything.
I know. It's very sad. I told the bouncer outside to not let him in, but he must have slipped through with like a 20 or something. I don't know. He slipped him a 20 and he got past the bouncer. Okay. So guys, what would you do? Let's talk about the client management part of it for a second. Each of you give me like your best script for asking a client for a price reduction or price.
Paul is saying that he's starting to get worried about your kids, Matt. Time to lay up the Twinkies.
Yeah, when they start making planes fly in circles in the air, might be time to put them on a liquid diet.
Wait, all right, you're up.
Darn diabetics. Oh, God bless them.
Bastards.
That's right.
Okay, Wayne, you're up, dude.
All right. So asking my clients for a price reduction. Is that where we're at? I got a little distracted there for a minute. So here's the key, and I think this is crucial, and I think this is a mistake that a lot of real estate agents make. They go into the listing appointment, and the way they set the prices, they go in and they go, I think this, and I think the market's doing this, and I think this, and I think we should price it here. And it's this whole I show, right? And the problem with that is then when you go back 2 weeks later for a price reduction, it's like, I was an idiot and I didn't do my job, and now we have to reduce the price. So here's the key. When you go into that listing appointment, you get them to go, hey, here's what's happening in the market. Where do you think the market's telling us to price the house? You enroll them in the conversation, and then here's what's brilliant. One of your value propositions is that you price watch. So you go, okay, perfect. I agree with you. I think this is what the market's telling us. And yet one of the things that I'm going to do for you, because I go above and beyond, is one of the reasons you're hiring me is to watch the market and to let you know if the market's telling us something different, because the market sets the price. So when I come back 2 weeks later or 4 weeks later, whatever it is, I go, hey, look, I've been doing my job. The market's telling us based on this and this that we need to make an improvement in our price. We've got to make an adjustment. And so that way, all of a sudden, I'm an expert because I'm watching the market. I'm not an idiot because I did it wrong 3 weeks ago. Are you with me?
Yeah. Setting the expectations correctly. I like it.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And then I go, do you want the little one or the big one? Do you want the 20,000 or the 10,000? They're like, okay, 10's cool. And I go, awesome. Do that.
Okay. I like that. The big one or the little one. Greg, what's your process like?
It's okay. So what I do is I go in and I originally go in. I do my comps. I look at what the market's doing. I go and sit down with my agents, with my clients, and I say, okay, guys, these are the comps that I found that are comparable for your home. Now, before we get started, are there any comps that you may have found that maybe I have missed? Now, this is the two-pronged reason why I'm using this. One is because legitimately I'm human. I could totally fuck up, okay? And that's happened. It's very about one time. Okay, it happened one time. But Wayne, you make me laugh. So I say, okay, so have you found any comps that maybe I have missed? Well, they say, well, I found this, or they say, no, they didn't. Either one, right? So if they had found a comp, the reason why I'm asking for that, because if it justifies a higher price, then I can use it and give that to the buyer's agent. When they say, well, how can you just justify this price? I say, well, here you go, stupid. You missed this. I caught it. You didn't? No. And then so once we get in there, I say, okay, guys, we have an opportunity to price our property 3 different ways. We can go for the astronomically highest price ever received in this area, in this in your neighborhood. We can either go for a fair market price based upon what we just talked about in the comps, or we can go for just slightly below the average listing price here and potentially create a bidding war. What would you like to do? Now, I'm giving them enough rope to hang themselves, because if they want to go for the most highest astronomical price on planet Earth, well, then if it doesn't sell in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, whatever time frame, I can come back and I'm going to say, because I'm going to follow up with an email, by the way, after this whole listing appointment, come back and say, well, guys, the market has spoken, like Wayne has said, the market has spoken, and we apparently are a little bit outside of our comfort zone for what the buyers are willing to pay. Yeah. Now, they are going to have a little bit of a problem there, because their ego is going to take a hit. This is why this next part is so key. So you agree on what price you're going to use, and then you write into the listing agreement, if one of 2 things have not happened in the next 14 days, we agree to come back and look at comps. Either we get a showing every single day, or we have an offer in our hands, then we're going to agree to come back, review the comps, readjust our price point appropriate to what the market is saying, and go back out on the market. Do you agree? Yes, we agree. Now, if the sellers get a higher price, and this happened to me last summer, by the way, my seller wanted to price at $25,000 over the last comp. And I said, okay, sure, man, what the shit? Let's just do it. Because I'm letting him look like the man of the household, but we're also going to come back in 14 days if we don't have it. Guess what? We got a full price offer on Sunday. So I let him have the win. I made a little bit more commission. He looked great in front of his wife. Then we went out, and with a little extra money, we were able to buy a little bit more home. It's a win, 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 circle all the way around. But you also tie him back to the listing agreement in writing that you will adjust the price. So they can't say like, well, I don't think this would have given another couple days. No. We got to adjust now. The market is speaking. So that's how I handle, price adjustments. We do them up front in the listing agreement.
Okay, I like it. We got a question that I want to throw away in your direction. Justin says, what would you do if a seller knows they need to reduce the price but thinks that your brokerage isn't local enough and wants to wait for the listing to expire and then switch brokerages? How do you handle that? That's an interesting objection. It's very niche. How would you kind of question even their assumption that the brokerage name is even an issue?
Yeah, and that's where I would go with it. I would go, so what's important to you about the brokerage? Like I would dive into that and figure out what's really going on. Because the reality is, there's probably a lack of trust somewhere. So I want to know what that is, and then kind of go there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because one of the things that I remind myself a lot of, even when I'm working with clients or when I'm doing my coaching clients, is and I don't know if I made this up or heard it somewhere, the issue is never the issue. Like the objection's never the objection. Like there's always something else. And I think too often people throw these initial objections at us. We kind of lose our mind and really go for it. And in the reality, that wasn't the objection in the first place. So I dig deeper and figure out what's the real objection.
Yeah, one of the things that I do a lot, and this was with Diana Kokoska, she was good friends with Howard Britton back in the day from Star Power. When I was teaching under Howard, being taught under Howard, he would always say go 3 deep or go 5 deep. Yeah. So you have the objection. Why? What? Dig. And Matt, I think we could go back to the book you read, and then the 3 questions that you asked. Remember that?
Talking about Joel Rico.
Yeah. That would be a really good one.
What's important about that to you? What's important about the brokerage name? Yeah, that's a great one. How what does that mean to you? What does that do for you? Yeah, those 3 questions.
I mean, I think that would be a really good way to dig down on that type of an objection. And besides, you can also ask them, well, if you guys feel, do you feel that, I or my brokerage cannot do a qualified job to get your home sold? Do you need X, Y, and Z brokerage, or do you just need a solid agent?
Right.
Because, I mean, if it's like, well, we just want a good agent. Okay, so there's a reason I'm sitting here, isn't there? Do you believe that my team is a solid agent or a solid team? Now, you're backing them into a corner. And, they don't want to look stupid by saying, no, they're not going to hire you if they thought you were an idiot. Well, maybe they would, but, a high probability they wouldn't. So we understand maybe they got told that they needed a local agent because their mother-in-law who sold real estate in 72 for a hot minute goes, well, yeah, honey, you got to get a local agent. I mean, they know the market. And you're just like, hey, shut up. But, because in today's day and age, you don't need that. I mean, you need someone who's internet savvy. You need someone who's actually more mindful of the overall global climate, not the super hyper local market. Both are good.
That's where I love that feel, felt, found script, right? Like I understand you feel that way. I've had other clients that have felt that way. Yet what they've found is blah blah blah, right? It's so critical. Yeah, and it also humanizes you back to them, because I can understand how you feel. I felt that same way when I sold my house. But what I found is that when I did the price reduction, I was able to sell my home with multiple offers, and we ultimately got a higher price. Because you went through it with them. They're not alone, and they don't want to be alone. They want to know they have their tribe running with them, and they're not the only person on planet Earth that's had to deal with this. Yeah, because it would make them ostracized, and that's never good.
All right. Now we have a question from Hank for Wayne, which I want to get to in a second because it's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, Wayne, first of all, we've got a ton of people watching, so I know it's not like you have like all these coaching slots that are open to fill. Like you don't have much room in your schedule, but I do want you to tell people how they can connect with you. So if they want to learn more about what you're doing, potentially work with you, and like especially stay in touch for some of the stuff that you're putting together in the next couple months, where can people connect with you?
Yeah, so Facebook is probably the best place. They can go to Wayne Salmons, right, Facebook.com/Wayne Salmons, and that's where it is. I got a personal page, and then I have a public profile page, which is where I put all the cool stuff. And so I've got 3 spots left in my coaching calendar, and I'm looking for like some pretty cool people to fill those 3 spots. So
Awesome. Cool. And then, so we've been talking about circle prospecting a lot on this particular episode, guys. That's what we've been like. That's part of why it caught our attention. I think maybe what generated the question on Lead Gen group is that me and Greg released like our first live training course. It's called Rockstar Circle Prospecting. That's all we talk about. And this last session was all the scripts and a little bit of role play. Like we role played with each of the agents that were on the call with us, helping them with their phrasing, the tonality. Dude, the next call on Monday, the shit gets real. Let's put it that way. We're gonna really dive in, and we're gonna talk about Greg's go for no script, and we're gonna start role playing with agents and helping the people that are on the class with us, and really helping them with their phrasing, the tonality, the pacing, and how to mirror and match with people when they're on the phone, which is really the key. Like, Greg, correct me if I'm wrong, but I see a lot of agents ask questions like, I keep getting interrupted, or people want to hang up on me, right? And to me, that all comes back to the mirror, the matching, the speed, the tonality and stuff. When you first get on the phone with them, you are lacking that connection. You're not building that rapport, and that's why you're getting that impulse from people. So we talk about a lot of that stuff on these training courses, not just in terms of what to say, but how to say it, so people actually give you the time to say it, which is a big deal. So anyway, go check out rockstarprospecting.com. We've got the next round of dates up for that class. It starts here in a couple weeks and it runs through like April. It's a 4-week training course for $297. So I mean, it's for the amount of content. You get 1 hour live training sessions once a week for 4 weeks with me and Greg. We go super deep on the engine of Greg's business. Anything, Greg, you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's fucking fun too, guys.
Oh yeah,
we're fun guys. We're fun guys. You guys go follow me on Facebook. Facebook does not let me have any more than 5,000 friends, those dicks. But I want you guys to follow me. You will see, kind of what we're talking about here. I do live circle prospecting at 4:30 almost every single day, Pacific Standard Time, so you can watch some of that stuff if you want to get going. But Matt, God, we're narcissistic. Enough about us. Let's get back to Wayne. He's way more interesting and good looking.
So Hank
My
wants
mom
to
tells
know.
me that all the time.
That's right. Hank would like to know how important, Wayne, was your script role play partner to you. Now, I can't imagine who on earth that he would be referring to.
Yeah. Well, and here's you guys are talking about scripting and role playing, and I think people here's the reality. One of the things that Hank and I have done, and we've done this for years, is when we've got an obstacle, we got a conversation we're getting ready to have, whatever it is, like we would call each other, we'd practice that, we'd role play that at the end of a calling session, whatever, we'd call each other and be like, hey, this was good, I screwed this up, like let's practice it, and we're both doing it, right? So not only are we sharing each other's experience and learning from each other, like we're doing that time, because the reality is, most agents, they're practicing on live people. Like, stop. Practice on cadavers, because live people, they're freaking alive. So go practice with each other, right? Go practice with a cadaver and screw up all day long before you start screwing up real people. Especially like if I'm an agent, I'm giving my team leads and they're not practicing with each other, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, they're literally wasting your money.
Yeah, and the reality is you don't see what you don't see. So I think I'm doing an awesome job. Somebody else watches me and they're like, oh, why did you not close once? And you're like, I thought I closed 12 times, right? So you've got to get those key insights. It's huge.
You know, something that I've talked about doing a lot is, I mean, it's so easy with our phones these days. They come with little cameras built into them on both sides. Send them up in the bathroom, facing the mirror. Hit record and just record yourself. No, not like that, you weirdo.
I didn't know where we were going with that. I'm like, I knew it was going to get weird, but this is
take it off. We're all boarded the weird train, leaving in 10 seconds, party of 3. But, go in there, film yourself, because you're going to see how your body reaction is. Because we've talked about communication 55% of the time, guys, is your body, how you move and you interact, your facial reactions, how you speak. The other 38% is your tonality, and the 7% is just the words. So the script is actually only 7% of your communication. Delivering it effectively with your tonality and your body is going to be a game changer. If you don't like it and you freak out, guess what the other people are doing? You get bitter beer face, okay, when you walk into the listing agreement or listing appointment.
bitter beer face.
Bitter beer face.
How have we worked together for 2 years and that phrase has never left your mouth?
I don't know, but you just popped back into my mind. I don't know.
That's all right. All right, Wayne. Here, I want to get into this next. So you briefly alluded to when you first got into real estate. You didn't exactly you weren't burning up the things right out of the gate. I'm curious, like what was your approach when you first got in? Like, what did you try to do to generate business, and what shifted, what changed?
Yeah, so I struggled when I first got into business. No one ever taught me anything, right? I'm kind of all by myself doing it. I remember the first day I was at this little independent brokerage, and the guy handed me a newspaper, and he's like, "Hey, people in here want to sell their houses," and that was the end of my training.
Wow.
So it was like a little rough, right? And yet, so
the training was to reach out, like cold call the people in the newspaper that put their homes down.
Yeah,
wow.
It was not.
Man,
so
what's funny is I called him. He threw you in the deep end of the harbor.
Yeah. No, he threw me in with special footwear, so I sunk to the bottom. Yeah, it was awesome.
Uh-huh.
So
Super
I
nice.
didn't have anything. Yeah. So I really struggled, and even I was getting into it. I was doing okay. I wasn't doing great, and yet I had to have like one of those defining moments before I really got up, and then it was a mindset change that really made all the difference. Right? It wasn't like I learned this magic script or whatever. Like it was really a mindset. Like I'm going all in. And when I had that moment, because I remember there was a moment, and I called my coach. I was staying outside the house. I'm like, dude, I'm like, I can't do this. I'm done. I don't know what to do. And he gave me the most powerful homework activity of my entire life. I did that, and it changed everything.
What was the homework activity?
I was just gonna wait. Yeah. It changed my life. That's later. Sign up for coaching. No, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's he had me write 2 letters, right? So he said, I want you to go home tonight, and I want you to write down if you succeed in this business, write down all the people you're going to be able to help and how you're going to be able to help them. So I went home and I wrote a letter to my parents, I'm going to help you with this, and my kids, and what I want to do in the world, right? And all the great stuff we're going to do, right? When I nail it in this business. So I came back, and he goes, okay, now I want you to go home, and tonight I want you to write an apology letter to every single one of those people in detail that you gave up. And because you gave up, you're not able to help them go to school. You're not able to help them retire, all this stuff.
Man,
I still get goosebumps thinking about it. Yeah. And I'm bawling as I write these letters. And at that moment, I made such a conscious decision with absolute certainty that I was doing this, and there was nothing going to stop me. And that was, for me, that was kind of the moment where I said, I'm playing all in. And then my coach said, you're going to take 10 listings a month for the next 6 months. And I was like, you're freaking crazy, because I take like one, and that was mom's house, right? Like I have no idea how to do this. And so then it was funny. So I go to him and I go like, what do I do? Like, how do I take 10 listings in a month? This is nuts. And he goes, well, if you don't, you owe me, you got to give me $1,000. And at that time, that was like, $999 more than I had. So that was going to be a problem. So, so here was my big aha. I went to him like, okay, cool. Like, I'm in, I'll do it. What do I do? Like, what's the best way to do it? And he wouldn't tell me. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, just tell me what to do. And he goes, it all works if you work it. Like, just pick something and go nail it. And I guess I was just crazy enough to do it. So I went out there. I started sale by owners, expires, whatever it took, to go get my 10 listings a month.
So you're kind of like Darren Hardy when he was doing real estate here in the Bay Area. He got told by his trainer, by his like a Tom Ferry or something back in the day, some seminar guy. He said, go out there, fail big and fail fast and fail hard. Yeah. And he's like, no, dude, I want to succeed. Yeah, he went out there and got told to F off, 50 times a day, Matt, and when I actually got a legitimate go fuck yourself last night when I was doing cold calls, it was the greatest thing.
Stickers. Like, we should get special stickers for that or something. Like, that's awesome. Yeah.
It was legit, dude. I laughed so hard. Midori was sitting here with me, and I was just like, yes! I didn't make it up.
Did you tell them toodles when you hung up?
I did.
That is awesome. I love it. Toodles.
Made my day.
That's hilarious.
But he went out there and got that.
That is awesome. That is one of the best techniques I've heard for just giving someone a homework assignment that actually gets them to get to their big why, which is that's a hard. I mean, that's something you typically have to like really work with, and somebody has to kind of be there with you and really they have to keep peeling the onion with you, forcing you to do that. Write those letters kind of forces you to go through that process yourself. And that's a really, really, really good assignment. Like that's a smart
it was powerful.
Coach.
Yeah, it was powerful.
It is very powerful.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, so then you figure out like you really just got in touch with your why. Then you figured out the mechanics. Like all that kind of came second. So let's talk about database a little bit. So did you have much of one in? I mean, this is Alaska where you got started, right?
Yeah.
Did you
know like all 5
anybody?
People were in there.
All 5 people. Yeah. All 5 people in Alaska were in your database. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, besides the prisoners that are working the boats, right? The ex-pals. Right.
Yeah. So I'm
like a landlocked Alcatraz.
Yeah. So I wish I would have. I mean, I had a database and I kind of took care of them. That's the one thing. If I could go back in time, I would have done a better job. And I think the biggest mistake I see realtors make around their database, and I coach a lot of my guys around this, and one of the things that agents want is they want they need clarity, they want predictability, and they want consistency. Like they want to know, what can I do to like know that this year is going to be okay? Like what do I need to do to be able to predict the future? And that database is so huge. And the one thing that I think so many people screw up on is they make it so complicated. There's no one in the world that could run that thing. Right, like it's so freaking all over the place. They got 1,000 different things, and their market. It's so complicated that it's almost impossible to run. So what I tell my people is like, just make it so simple that you can actually execute on it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Well, that would break it down for most real estate agents. We need big buttons and colors. I mean, if you try to make it super hard, if you try to make it think like an engineer would think, we are all screwed. Big buttons and colors, guys. It's not that hard. If Wayne and I can both not graduate from college and somehow land on our feet, you guys who have education can definitely do it. Okay.
If we can do it, anyone can do it, and that's like legit. Like
legit.
Seriously. Yeah. we were too legit to quit. So.
Wayne, you've got one more year of college than I've got under my belt, so you have me beat on that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, seriously, you didn't know that, Greg?
No, we've been working together for 2 years.
Since I was 15 years old.
We've been working.
I didn't technically graduate high school, so does that kind of like put us back together?
I also did not. Does that make a difference? I left. I left school I liked at 15.
You. I knew that we were going to be. I knew that this was going to work. I knew it.
Credibility.
I went and got a G. I found out that the Christian school I was going to, or thinking about going to for my senior year of high school, I found out that they did not they lost their accreditation. So I would have had to go get a GED. So I just went and got a GED, quit school, and started working.
God.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Oh,
so there was a phrase, and I want you to give everybody this. I don't want to spoil it for everybody. It's something that you and Hank were talking about on your first podcast episode. You got to tell people that phrase because it's fantastic.
So, and I hope this is the one you're referring to. So here's what's funny. So many people I work with, I'm like, hey, you need to call your database, and they feel really weird about it, right? They're like, well, I don't know. I haven't talked to him forever, like whatever. And here's the reality. You've got to take care of your database because so many agents, they go, okay, I'm just going to call them. And it's a freaking booty call.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like, hey, haven't talked to you in 3 years. Do you want to sell your house right now? Because I got a car payment. Right? It's like you would never call somebody and be like, hey, I haven't talked in 2 years. I thought I could come over, sit on your couch, we can make out, and let's make a baby. Like tonight. It's like, who the hell are you? It's been 2 years, right? So stop booty calling your freaking database. Just take care of them. Are you with me?
Oh my God.
We get like no wonder you feel weird. It should feel weird.
Yes, it feels weird because it should feel weird. Yes. And there is that broken minority among us that can make that call and not feel bad about it. And I think the rest of us are out there sitting around going like jealous of those people. We should not be jealous of them. They have something wrong with them. So what's the answer, right? So you don't want to booty call your database, but what's the answer is like you have to be communicating with them without any intention. And I think that's also where people get themselves tripped up on. It's like, well, if I'm not going to call them and I'm not calling them about real estate, what the hell do I call them for, and how do I explain why I'm calling? So what's your favorite script, or what do you recommend for your agents?
Yeah. So the truth is they only need 4. Like you only need 4 reasons to call them a year. Like that's so little. So one of the ones I always recommend is like you're probably going to do some kind of event, right? So there's one, it's gone, right? Another one of those calls is going to be to see if they have any needs for next year, right? It's like it's January, I'm planning my vacations, just want to see if you need anything this year around real estate. So that is going to be one of the calls. And I think the other calls are actually calling because you give a rip. So my 2 favorite ones, one, I love calling saying, hey, I'm building my vendor list. Like I have a lot of buyer sellers and they always need, vendors. Who do you know is a great carpet cleaner, whatever it is. So call them and get them to tap into their people. It's just a great way. And then you go, hey, do you want to copy that list? And it's just a great way to build your database. I think another great reason to call your database, and this is probably the greatest script of all time. So get ready to write it down. Mark King shared this at Mega Camp, I think a couple years ago. And the greatest script of all time is this. And I'm going to blow Greg's mind. So just make sure you're sitting down. Here's the script.
Hang on. I'm firmly planted on 2 feet. Hang on. All right.
That was it. The script is hi.
Wait, that was it passed me by. Hang on. What now?
Just call people, say hi. I was thinking about you. How are you? Like, stop being weird. Just call them and check in. Are you with me?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was driving by thinking about you. Just wanted to check in. I wanted to make sure I didn't drop the ball. Like, how's life? Like, we make it so overcomplicated. Are you with me? Yeah. Like, it would be okay to call them and just say, hey, I just wanted to check in on you, see how you're doing, what's going on, right? You go through forward, whatever it is, just make that connection. I just think we make it something it doesn't need to be.
I agree with you on that. There's actually I'm holding a list of, I think it's, 20 plus reasons why to call. And it's like, go to your point. I mean, it's like, drove by your home yesterday, couldn't stop but thinking about you. Just, here's another one, just thinking about you. Just wanted to reach out. Just wanted to call and say hi. Wanted to see if you wanted to play golf. I mean, be a human, not a retard. Okay, and like there's another, we call it our good guy list, but it's our vendor list. Hey, do you have you have another person that we can bring on? Or just checking. Hey, how's the house? Did you guys do the upgrades? Right. Haven't talked to you a couple of years because I'm a douche, but just wanted to see how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to call you in a month to sleep with you, but I want to see how you're doing right now.
Yeah. Put feelings first. Put feelings first.
Feelings first. People have feelings.
All right, Wayne. Well, all right. So once you know that, like, let's say you go, okay, well, that's great if I had kept in contact with them this whole time. But let me give you 2 scenarios. Number one, the neglected database, which is I've been in real estate for 3 to 5 years or maybe longer, and I have this list of people that I worked with or I've known for that whole time and never reached out to them once. Now, how do I reach out to them now? Like, what do I say? Let's cover that one first.
Do you want my answer?
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm going to give you the greatest script of all time. Here it is. No. All right. So here's what I would do. I would call and say, you know what? I realized that I totally dropped the ball and I haven't kept up with you. And I just wanted to call and say hi and see how you are. Like we make it weird. Just be like, hey, look, I dropped the ball. Like I've thought about you and I haven't called you. Or you have some fun with it. If there are people go, hey, listen, dude, Greg, it's been 5 years and you haven't called me, so I thought I better call you.
Are you doing okay?
Right, Greg's like, oh yeah, right. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to touch base, see how you're doing. Seriously, right? How's the house? How's whatever. right? We just make it something into that it doesn't need to be. Just connect with them, right? Like you said, they're humans. So I think the reality is sometimes people feel weird calling their database after, their clients after they closed. The weird thing is they probably would like to hear from you. If you don't call them later, they probably think you didn't care, right? They actually want to hear from you. And the douchebags that don't, release them back to the market. We don't need everybody.
Exactly. We really don't. I mean, and the good thing is, guys, is if you head it off, like Wayne was just saying at the very beginning, hey, Matt, dude, I'm the #1 jerk off of 2016. I didn't call you all year. I apologize. Want to get that up front, and I want to buy you a beer. Is that okay? How's life, by the way?
I like
They're
it.
like, yeah, you are a dick.
Now, can I give you what I feel is the magic sauce in this? Can I give you what? And this is just my opinion, so I love your guys' take on it. Can I give you what I think is critical when you're making these calls? So
yes.
So I'm just going to do it anyway. So here we go. So when someone, you have that call, you just say hi, checking in. When they come back and they say hi, how are you? How's the market? How's business? I want you to imagine, and I did a video on this the other day, I want you to imagine that is when the roof opens up, the sun shines down upon you, and it's your moment. So at that moment, I don't want you to go like the weird line, why do you ask? Screw that. I want you to go, man, I'm doing so amazing. I tell you what, last week I was able to help this young couple who didn't think they could get into a home. They were really stressing out about it, and I came up with a strategy to get them into that house, and they were able to close by this date and whatever. I want you to tell them a story because they'll remember a story. Right, I got these sellers, and they were freaking out. They needed to get to Chicago to be with their grandkids, and they had it listed before. It didn't move. I was able to come in. I gave them the 5 things they needed to do. We got their home sold, and right. So I want you to tell, because they'll remember a story. Are you with me?
Yeah,
right.
100%.
And the story, and every story's got a villain, which is the market or price or the other douchebag agent or whatever. Right? There's a villain, and then you're the hero. And I'll tell you, they're gonna remember that forever. Right? So just look for those moments.
Melanie has a really good. She has a script here that she just posted is that I wanted to call so you wouldn't have to tell people that you never heard from your realtor after the transaction. I mean, I love that one.
Yeah,
I love that. That's awesome.
It's very high D, by the way, Melanie.
That was good.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's funny. All right, there was a really good one here. A really good question, which was, what happens when past client transaction did not go well? Wayne, would you modify anything? Would you hit it straight up in the script when you reconnect?
Yeah, I'd probably just never call them again.
Yeah.
No. So here. So I love it. So Jenny put this out there, and she said gratitude call. So that I would just do a gratitude call, right? Go, you know what? I'm so grateful that we had the opportunity to work together, and I realized we hit some bumps in the road, and I wanted to call you because I want to make sure that doesn't happen to anybody else. And I knew that maybe I could get some advice from you so we could put something in place to make sure that never happens again. So from your perspective, what can we do in the future? To whatever it is, right? And I just think coming from that place of gratitude, I'm so grateful that you worked through that with us, and you didn't send me a bomb in the mail, and I want your feedback on what I should do different in the future.
That's not bad. I like it.
That's actually a really powerful one because he's actually doing 2 things for you at the same time. One, it's giving them the power to vent, and once they vent, it's like getting a zip popped. Get that crap out of your system, because otherwise you're gonna get all nasty and infected and everything else. So allowing them to vent, you get to learn. You get to learn what you. Hey, Wayne. You get to learn what you did wrong. Therefore, you can put it into your process, never to do again, and you can start mending a relationship.
Yeah,
you assume too much, Greg. As always.
Oh God, bite me.
I'm gonna tell you how you have way overstepped your bounds here, which is that you said you can adjust your process. You can adjust your process. No agents have a process. They don't have any processes. There's no systems. You assumed that there is a system to adjust.
Oh my God! Actually, it does work because I've done it. And you always bitch at me for not having systems. It does work.
You have a system. It's called Eileen, and Eileen has systems. That's how you have systems. That's how you've gotten around that particular workaround.
Eileen has twins. Well, she has now dual systems. She's a twin turbo.
Yeah.
Totally tuning me out, by the way.
And justifiably so. But yeah, that's if you have systems, then yes, you can make adjustments to them. But you got to have systems first.
Yeah.
Okay, sarcastic ass. Move forward. So guys, really quickly. Crap, I forgot what I was going to say. It was going to be something awesome though. Anyways, keep moving. I'll remember.
Oh, great. Thank you.
The world will be
right,
less
so Wayne, that was I was trying to segue into something, which is what I wanted to ask you about, Wayne. So how would you advise someone to start to add in systems to their business to start to make things like especially the contract to close process easier, smoother, so that they deliver a better client experience without getting themselves sucked into operations so much that they can't keep selling, keep calling their database, keep doing the things to grow?
Yeah, well, so I think it's two parts. One, look for ways to leverage that out. First off, like there's a gal here in my office in Dallas, and she does contract to close, and I tell you what, she is a gazillion times better at it than I ever was. So like if you have people like that in your world, just let them do their thing. Make sense? And then I think the other thing is make the systems, and I'm so passionate about this right now. Make the systems simple enough that you can actually follow them.
Yeah.
And I think we overcomplicate them. And I remember Tony DeCello said one time, he goes, a 12-year-old should be able to walk in your office and run your systems. Like they should be that simple that somebody who didn't know anything could come in and run them. So I think we overestimate, maybe we overestimate the time it's going to take, whatever it is. Just make it simple and do them one at a time, right? Just start knocking out one simple system at a time. And the other thing too is most of us have systems. So reach out to other people that already have some of these systems in place and just copy and paste. Like you don't have to reinvent everything, right? Like I mean, Jenny was on here asking questions earlier. She's one of the best systems people I know. So instead of me like coming up with those stuff, I'm going to go to her and just grab hers. And the third thing I would say on it is your job is to make a massive amount of money so that you can hire the right person to come in and build the systems. Like I see so many people that go, well, I'll hire an admin when I build my systems. Like, screw that. That's not your job. Your job is to go make a bunch of money so you can hire someone that's really good at that to go do what they're really good at.
Yep.
Now that's an interesting perspective because I feel like that's where most people fall down. So I tend to be the opposite. I build the system first. I experience it. So I learned this from Frank at Viral, which is I do it, then we do it, then you do it. So that tends to get, I believe very strongly in that approach. But at the same time, if you can hire the right person, I mean, obviously, if you can hire a rock star person that can build the systems for you and they're legitimately better than you are at especially the admin work, the contract to close part, 100%, absolutely. Bring them in, let them do their thing, and just you enforce them building the system, which is what I've yelled at Greg about for like the last 2 years. Like he has someone that is a single point of failure in his business that they have, no systems documented. So if something happens, or when Eileen goes into labor, I don't know what exactly they're going to do because there's no, the systems are locked in her head.
Yeah. Well, God forbid somebody gets hit by a bus and you're going, crap, what do we do?
Yeah. So sorry to throw you under that same bus, Greg, but
you're not. That was your favorite part of the damn day.
You have to get the systems documented for the love of all that is good and holy in this world.
Hold on. Shh. No one's talking to you. Okay, I remember what I was going to say, guys. Hey, I've been a lot of people that are on this have been hitting us up. Matt and I use a couple of different programs. We can go live into your groups or off of your pages. If you guys like this information or you think there's a private that we should go into or a page that we should go off of. So, guys, if you like this, contact me. I'll put you on our distribution list so that your group, your peeps, can get our show. I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me lately, Matt. They've been watching those episodes when we talked about people, going live into groups. So
yeah. Well, and especially if the person that runs the group has something to say, like if they're an experienced agent in and of themselves and they have something to share that's innovative, like we'd like to not only just broadcast into the group, we'd like to have them on the show. Like let's bring them on the show. Let's do something together. So we always want to do that and give back and contribute wherever we can. So it's not just about broadcasting the show in more places. We want to interview awesome people that are doing cool things in the industry.
Yeah, and Jessica Pegg, real estate gangsta, what up? I had to throw that in there, man. Yeah. I
love that gal.
Are you doing West Coast, East Coast?
Let's cover one last question, if you guys don't mind. I'm going to throw this out, and Wayne will get your perspective first, then Greg. So Todd Hauer asks, how would you handle the seller and get the listing? So here's the scenario. The seller says, Hey, you have a great marketing plan. It's similar to a lot of agents I've spoken with, and you've proven your success for selling homes in our area. It's fair to say that is it fair to say that the time that you would spend working to list and sell my $650,000 home would be about equal for the sellers down the street and their $400,000 homes? So if you're charging both of us a percentage, why am I paying you $7,500, more to list and sell my home when it's the same amount of work as a $400,000 home? So that is a very direct, interesting, and well thought out way to ask the commission question. That is a high level way of asking that question. Wayne, how would you handle that?
I'd probably just pee a little bit and run. That'd be my first strategy.
Yeah, I mean, shoulder roll out the nearest plate glass window, but I got you.
Then I would come back at some point. No, I think the reality is especially people like that most people that own homes like that appreciate value. So that's when that's when I would go back to them and go, hey, you know what? A Mercedes and this old Honda can get you to the same place, right? And yet, would you agree? Why would you buy a Mercedes instead of that, right? So I think you've got to go back and give them some analogies that they appreciate and help them realize that has there ever been a time when you paid less for something and got what it was worth, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you go back to that and you appeal to what they do. Does that make sense? So when you go, so if it's a doctor, I'm going to go, so a knee surgery takes 4 hours and there's this brain surgery that takes 4 hours. Why does the brain surgery cost more than the knee surgery? Because brain surgery is a little bit more important, right? There's some, you got to have some nuances in brain surgery that you don't have when you're fixing a knee. Are you with me? So I'm going to give them an analogy that applies to them. They go, yeah, you're right. There is a difference between my $600,000. I'm going to talk to their ego. There's a big difference between your $600,000 house and that $400,000 house. Are you with me? So do you want a $400,000 agent, or do you want me? I mean, let's.
Yeah. Just you want me? What's up?
The original OG.
Oh my God.
Original gangster.
So right off the bat, I would hit it, since they're trying to go analytical at me. I'll punch right back with an analytical response. I'll be like, it's quite simple. You're paying for a service. Doesn't matter if it's a $2 home or a $20 million property. The standard, in the industry, and if you disagree, please help me find an opportunity where you can point this out. But the industry standard for our area is 5%. It's 2.5% and 2.5% to each side. Now, if we decide not to give the other side 2.5%, then we're not going to get enough showings. But I'm worth my money. That's why I give the same level of service. If your brother was selling a $400,000 house, you wouldn't want me to discount my service to him, would you? No, and I wouldn't do that to anyone. I'm going to give you and anybody else the same level of quality of service. Now, is that okay with you? And I won't allow them to punk you on that. Because, they're looking for a discount, but just hit them back. Going, look, first, my brokerage won't allow me to go any lower because that's the industry standard. You're paying for a service. And if you want the discounted brokerage, I'd be happy to make a call to the dipshit down the street. Now, you'll call me in 30 days going, oh, my God, I have like the used Winnebago from 72 running the show over here, and they don't even know what the intranet is. Big problem for attracting clients. And I'm like, yes, I know, sir, because with our handy-dandy services, not only are you going to get, 6 agents working full-time, but you get 3D video of your home. Ooh. Leave Wayne and I just to make a total joke out of that. But I actually use that as an upsell.
Yeah.
You can also ask questions. Say, what would you be willing to pay? If you were the $400,000 person, would you expect to pay less than if you were the $650,000 like yourself? And the answer is going to be no. I expect to pay this industry standard. And when you can go back and use the doctor thing and say, actually that script doesn't apply here, so we're not going to use that script. But the doctor script is a good one. That's for a different scenario. So that's my response.
I would, if you could, I would, since it's a very, very analytical question, it's a high D or a high C question. Greg, I would hit them back with a high D or high C response, but I would approach it a little bit differently, which is like to my marketing mind, I think it is a valid question. And I think you have to hit them back with you have to have this potentially in mind first, which is if you're going to start raising your average sale price, and that's a big jump, that is a 50% jump in average sale price. Like that's a big deal. I think you need to go in there armed with the ammunition, knowing already how your marketing plan for their home differs from a home that's half their price, right? So either have different packages at different commission points, and that will eliminate that objection. We talked with Michael Afito about that. Like his commission packages go all the way up to 8%. So if you want, not only do you want the top, the top tier of marketing, you pay more for it. But if you're just like some guys, I think Craig Proctor started doing this years ago. I think it was him. Wayne, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he have like an 8% package if it dropped below a certain price point? So he actually could go in and say, look, I actually charge, like if you drop below a certain price point, I do charge a higher percentage so that we don't have these wildly varying commission amounts, because it is the same amount of work. So he can, like, there's ways to remove that objection before it comes up. And the other thing is days on market. So if you're literally 50% above the average sale price for your market, you're not hitting average days on market. So if the average days on market are 30 days, that listing that's 50% more expensive is going to sit for 50 or 100% longer. That's twice as much time my staff has to pay. That's twice as much marketing, twice as much Facebook ads, twice as many calls that you and I have to keep you updated on the showings. And you can say, look, it's not. So I can prove to you it's not the same amount of work. It can be 2, 3, 4 times the work. It actually gets less profitable for me to handle high price listings that don't sell than it is to handle bread and butter listings that just turn over in a week.
Would you actually want
that will shut them up right there?
Are you sure you'd want to say, bring it back to you? Wouldn't you want to make it more about them? Because if you say it's more costly for me, wouldn't that put them on the defensive? I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, because they want to know that it costs you something. That's what they want. They want to know. They want to get their pound. They want to get their pound of flesh. They want to know that the value exchange is equal.
Well, I disagree.
If you can prove that you're giving more value, why wouldn't you? If you say it costs,
it's not about you.
No, it's about the value that's being exchanged. It's not about how much pain it is for me.
For them, it's all about them.
I know, but telling them anything else, like if you can justify that you literally do put in more work, more marketing dollars to market their home than a $200,000 home, that's exactly what they want to hear.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, okay, fine, whatever. All right. So Wayne, where can people connect with you?
So they can reach out to me on Facebook. They can reach out to me on my phone.
On your phone.
Yeah, I mean, like they can go to the
intranet.
Google. Yeah, they can go to the Google and
the AOL. I believe it's called.
The AOL. Yeah.
That's right. So it's WayneSammons at CompuServe.com.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. No, or they can go to WayneSalmons.com. So it's just Wayne. Last name is SALMANS. So that's it.
So can you
watch?
tease?
We're launching some pretty cool stuff here in about 3 weeks. We're going to launch our incredible product. So
without giving away the details on the product, who is the person that should care? Give us the profile of the person that should say, I need to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. So the person you should keep an eye out for is this is really targeted at somebody. Let's say I'm somebody that maybe I've got a couple of kids. I'm probably in a relationship. I'm growing my business, and yet I'm at that point in my life where I'm going, how do I double my business and maintain my sanity? How do I double my business and still be the dad and the mom I want to be, right? So how do I have massive growth over here and still be an incredible person over here? Because a lot of people, they go and they don't realize how to jump that gap. So it's all about strategies and tools to empower people to take those kinds of leaps in their lives.
Yeah.
So
I like it. Very, very cool.
That's
it. Now you have me intrigued.
Yeah, because that really is a big deal. Like and I've been thinking a lot about this lately too. Just how do you grow? How do you keep growing the business without growing the complexity, the time that you put in, and taking on more and more mental burden? Because it's very easy to just look at it in very black and white terms, in terms of, if I want to grow my business, I need to take on more. And all of a sudden you're working 50 hours a week, then 60, then 70, and you overcommit yourself. But it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, Joe Polish talks about
it doesn't have to be there, and yet so many people never get there, right? And it goes back to what T.R. Becker said in the book we were talking about earlier. Unsuccessful people ask, which one can I have? Successful people go, how can I have both? And I think a lot of what I do, especially my coaching, is equip people with strategies and new questions, right? So they start asking you questions. I was talking to one of my clients is a home builder, and he goes, I think I've slowed down my production because it's hurt my family, right? 20 minutes later, he had massive clarity on who he needed to bring to this world and how he needed to leverage some stuff out so that he can double his business and still be the dad he wants to be, right? And he wouldn't have done that had we not had that conversation.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like that.
Very, very cool. All right, Greg. So, Rockstar Prospecting.
Yes, Matt, go.
Yeah, I have to go. All right, guys. Go to rockstarprospecting.com. Thanks, Greg. And take it away, Matt. All right. So we have announced the new dates. They're up on that landing page. Go there, check it out. We've got a video that explains exactly what it is. It's a 4-week live training course all about how to do exactly what Greg does. It's the whole engine of Greg's business. It's how he finds all of his new leads that come into his world that eventually turn into real buyers and sellers and make real commission. So it's all about how to make those kinds of calls where you're delivering the good news around a property that just sold or just went pending, or if you have, for example, a buyer need. So on our last call, that we recorded that's up for the people that went through that class right now. Greg, you gave like the most ridiculously amazing like buyer need script I've ever heard.
Really?
It was pretty badass. Yeah, it was really, really good.
The one when I humanized them?
Yes, and the way that you humanize the buyer and their one single child, yeah, It was really, really good. So that's the kind of stuff that we cover. This next session 3, is all about phrasing and tonality, and then we talk about how to actually implement this stuff. And one of the things that people really loved about the course is the tracking sheet. We're giving away, Greg, your prospecting tracking sheet for how to track your activity and how to plug in your numbers so that you know exactly how much you make per hour when your butt is in the seat making phone calls. And that is a very powerful number. Greg, yours is how much?
I'm down to $1,000 an hour right now. So I'm kind of pissed off because everyone in California is ticked off at Trump and they hate there's so much rain. So they're not answering their phones in their grumpy pants. So they're grumpy pants.
So usually it's over 1,200 right now. It's 1,000 and you're pissed.
A minuscule 12,000. I mean, I'll tell you guys exactly what, I'll break it down so you guys can understand. So these sheets, we're going to break it down to, I know that every call is worth $4 to me. Every lead is worth $28 to me. Every person I speak to is worth $26. Every minute is worth $13. Every hour is worth $760, and every lead is worth $1,000. So it really identifies and breaks it down. I also know that the fact that my potential revenue at an average home value of $800,000 with 2.5% commission rate, working 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, 45 weeks a year, my income based upon my trackable number to date is going to be $171,021. But if I go and I say I'm going to go 2 hours a day, I'm going to jump to $342,043 of income. So it motivates the living bejesus out of you to get your ass out of the door and go meet somebody. And that's something.
I love how you only edited yourself on 1 out of the 2 cuss words.
50% increased awareness, Matt. That's a big game.
All right, guys.
Guys, go
With
follow
that
me.
said,
Go follow me on Facebook, guys. Don't friend me, please. Don't friend me. Follow me. You will see what we are talking about live, and maybe we'll get one more fuck off on a live training video, which I am shooting for. Maybe I'll just goad people and just say, you smell bad over the phone. Or, wow, did you not lose that pesky 600 pounds? I don't know. Just say something insulting.
Wow, that's really going for no. Goodness. That's
you're cool. I'm not even talking to your kids. I mean, go figure.
Follow Greg on Facebook. Follow him on Instagram as well. He's McDanielCallahan.real estate. You can follow me on both platforms. I am pursuing results. We are speaking actually in April at San Diego Association of Realtors. We are speaking and doing a door knocking mastery panel with Brian Casella. We're actually going to be doing more stuff with Brian Casella, especially around SoCal. So guys, if you are in Southern California and you have any kind of connection with your broker or your team leader or whatever, and you'd like to have the 3 of us in to talk about high-tech, high-touch prospecting, door knocking, circle prospecting, whatever. We can do half-day workshops. We can come in and do like a 2-hour thing. Just hook us up if you want us to come in. If you're interested in having us, hook us up with the right person to speak to, and we'll take it from there. But there's gonna be some cool opportunities to get out there and do some awesome stuff with Brian and other agents around California, and get out there and really help a lot of people in person and get them on the way.
On the way, absolutely. Guys, we do this because we love you. Matt and I do this 3 days a week. We bring in amazing guests like Wayne to interview. So like Matt said earlier, if you have anyone that we should be interviewing for any reason that you feel is pertinent, guys, reach out to us. I pick up my phone. Matt, you got to text him. But we'll get the information. Facebook message, yes. But then don't use a voice message. He will criticize you and ridicule you for that. Like he did to me, chastised me, and says, Greg, the voice message is totally unhelpful. I'm like, bitch, I'm driving. Deal.
In a day and age where we have voice to text, Please use that. It's the same work for you, but it saves everyone else a lot.
Seriously.
Right. Thank you, Wayne. All right, guys. We do love you. We do appreciate it. And Wayne, we appreciate you for being on the show. Everybody else that's watching, we just want to thank you again for being on the show with us, for commenting and asking questions. We love the interaction. We love being able to answer the questions live fire. So with that said, I know we've got another great interview coming up on Friday. We've got some great guests coming up. We're bringing Frank Klezes from Viral Marketing on. We're going to have Ben Bacall, who's one of the top agents in Hollywood and Beverly Hills, is on. I just talked to him today. So we're lining him up for April. Man, we've got some really, really awesome guys.
And we have our author coming on, the ex head hostage negotiator internationally for the FBI.
That's right.
He's coming on our show, and that dude, his book is epic. I'll put the link in there for you guys. It is.
Cool.
I'm not going to say it. I've already said enough offensive things in the show. All right. We are out of here, guys. We love you. Peace out, ninjas. We're gone.